Hello, I'm Cindy, and I want to teach you how to make salsa. A lot of people won't try to do salsa. I know I didn't for a long time, or even can, because I thought it was too much trouble. I thought it would be hard and that I just couldn't do that. That was something my grandmother used to do. But I've gotten a lot of pleasure out of canning and making salsa. My family loves it, and I want to teach you how to make it and let you know you can do this. This is very easy. And I'll give you my recipe here in a minute. The things that you'll need, you really don't need a lot of fancy equipment. Most everything that you need is right in your kitchen. You don't have to, I'll be boiling today in a pressure canner, but you don't have to have that because we're just going to boil. I had a granite canner and it finally rusted through. So if you have a soup pot, a deeper one, than this, I'm just cooking the salsa in this, but a deeper one, you can just use this, but you have to have one that will accommodate a pint jar. And see, that will hold a pint jar. So if you use a soup pot to boil your salsa in, just make sure you put a pot holder or something in the bottom so that the jars don't touch the bottom of the pan, because they could bust. It gets pretty hot. The only other thing you'd need are jars. I use pint jars. That's about a good amount, I think. Jars, your funnel, something to lift your jars out of the canner once you boil those. My girlfriend gave me this little kit that included a little lid lifter. It has a magnet on the end that you can touch the lids and lift that out with. A ladle to ladle your salsa into the jars. You've got your rings washed and clean. Your jars are clean and hot and ready to go. You can even keep them in your hot water before you fill them up if you want to. Okay, we're going to add the ingredients. I'll tell you, I use exactly what I use. I use 8 to 10 cups of diced tomatoes. And I use pureed tomatoes sometimes too. Whatever you have. Tomatoes, Romas make the best. They're meatier. If you don't have enough tomatoes, which today I didn't have enough, so my local grocery store has a couple of items that I like. They have a crushed tomato in heavy puree sauce. I really like that. And then they have diced tomatoes. And they have one that's called a petite diced that I really like because it's a little bit smaller. Always drain your tomatoes. You don't want all that excess water. That's what waters it down. You want a chunkier, thicker, meatier salsa. I've got 3 to 4 cups of diced peppers. This is probably what's going to take you the longest to dice up your peppers. Look how pretty that is. Very colorful. The yellow and the green. And this is the peppers that I used right here. Green bell, red, yellow. Here's a lilac lavender bell, which just was given to me. Jalapenos, definitely. Banana peppers. Chilies. Here's cayennes. This is where you get your heat. I've got a little guy here that's called a Thai jalapeno, and it's a nasty little bugger. It's hot. So I only put one in my batch of salsa. If you want to raise the heat level up a little bit, put the seeds in there. If you don't, leave the seeds out and don't add any cayennes. So you can control the heat if you just want to use bell peppers, jalapenos, and banana peppers. You don't have to add all the other hot ones. I've got mine already diced up. This is probably what takes the longest, but you can see how pretty that is with all the colors. I've used one small diced onion. We're going to put that in there. I have everything already measured out here for time. We have a half a cup of white vinegar. You have 2 tablespoons of lime juice or lemon juice, whichever one you've got. I use lemon because that's usually what I have. I have 2 teaspoons of salt. I have a teaspoon of white pepper. And it calls for 4 cloves of minced garlic, and I'm out of that, so garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Like I said, there's no wrong or right way to do this. Alter it to suit yourself. Then 6 to 8 drops of Louisiana hot sauce, or more or less, if you want to bump up the heat just a little bit. Okay, we're going to put our peppers in here, and you boil this for 5 minutes. Bring all this, you've got it heated up real good. You want it really good and hot when you put it into the jars. So put your peppers in there. We'll add our Louisiana hot sauce. Time-wise, most time-consuming part is just cutting up the stuff. But like I said, if you want to really do some shortcuts, buy the diced tomatoes. That's really helps. If I didn't mention gloves, when you're dicing up your peppers, you really need to have some form of glove on, and you definitely don't want to touch your eyes, and try to be real careful. If you do get the hot peppers on your hands, I just recently read that you can keep a little bleach water in a bowl to dip your fingers in, your hands in, and that will cut the fire from it. Okay, we're going to bring this heat up on this. You can see how pretty that is. I haven't added my hot sauce yet, my Louisiana hot sauce. So add a few dashes of that. Maybe one to grow on, a little bit more if you want. I like mine a little bit spicy, a little hot, not too hot, but you can control that completely with the type of peppers you use and whether or not you put very much hot sauce. So let me recap the recipe there while this is coming to a boil. It's 8 to 10 diced tomatoes, and always drain them if you use the cans. The heavy puree, you don't have to drain that. Measure that out. 3 to 4 cups of diced peppers. I usually put 4 because I like mine really chunky. You can see, step in here and you can look at how thick this sauce is. It's very, very thick and very chunky. Got a lot of peppers. Okay, so got the garlic. We'll recap the recipe real quick for you so you'll know that. 8 to 10 tomatoes, 3 to 4 cups of peppers, garlic, if you've got 4 cloves to dice up or not, otherwise 2 teaspoons of garlic powder is good. Half a cup of white vinegar, 2 tablespoons of lime juice or lemon, 2 teaspoons of salt, and a teaspoon of white pepper, 1 small diced onion, and your 6 to 8 drops of hot sauce. And that's my recipe. You can add or leave off anything. One thing I don't use that some people do is like a half teaspoon of cumin. I'm not a big fan of cumin, so I never put it in mine, but most people do. So you can do that. Okay, this is boiling, coming to a boil. And you let this boil for 5 minutes, like I said, and we'll say that it's boiled for 5 minutes. Put your funnel on your jar. Dip your salsa into the jars very carefully so you don't burn yourself. The funnels are great. It keeps the rim of the jar clean. And when you get right before you put the lids on, you want to make sure that the edge of your jar is clean. Lift your lids out of the hot water. Place them on there. You've got your clean rings. And screw them on there. Make sure they're really good and tight. Tighten that down. Set your jars into your canner. As you can see, I've already got some ready to go. Set your jars in there very carefully. Make sure the water level comes up to the neck of the jars. Bring this to a boil for 15 minutes. Once it comes back up to a boil, you time this 15 minutes. Then they're ready to come out. Lift your jars out very carefully. They're going to be hot, and set them on a towel. And you have just done your first round of salsa. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you've got any questions, or I think you can make comments. And good luck. Thank you.